If you know you're already going to be grabbing YESHUNGUANG, thinking about how you're going to prepare and set up for YSG, or maybe you're just starting out Zenless and have heard of her name in passing and need to see more, well, this video is for you. YESHUNGUANG is by no exaggeration going to be one of our most anticipated characters outside of Zenless' lifespan, outside of Miyabi and the Fake Out. That was the Void Hunter leveled Yishuan. But looking now at the cast of an Ice Anomaly, Ether Rupture, Little Guang's physical attack, she will be rounding out a relatively balanced cast of top-tier DPS characters, kind of like a rock, paper, scissors type of situation. But Josh, I'm here in this video to find out what I need to prepare for YESHUNGUANG. What outside of some polls and materials do I need? Well, in this video, we're going to be looking at exactly that, and review some very core gacha and game mechanics to help you best prepare for the coming of Gilgamesh. We have 3 different tips here to give you the best chance to confirm your YESHUNGUANG, and 1 secret hidden tip that I'm always asked about on stream. So let's slide over to tip number 1, and that's having enough polychromes and poles. It's an easier statement than done, as there have been many characters that have stood between Yishuan and now YESHUNGUANG that have warranted our poles. Whether it's husbandos, waifus, meta picks, or the occasional lucky 10 draw, no gacha gamer is a stranger to how devastating the gacha system can be. If you're a vet to ZZZ or gachas, this section isn't for you, so skip to this timestamp. And so, if you're relatively new to the scene, let's just quickly review. You have a gacha machine that has a 0.6% chance to roll an S-rank character. Yet, the S-rank character will be a toss-up, a 50-50 coin flip, if you will, between the on-banner character, which in this case would be YESHUNGUANG, or we have a small body of characters here called the standard S ranks, ranging from a small bear to a big wolf. You might think those rates are low, but there are systems in place to stop gate the losses, what we in the industry call the pity system. Now the full pity or hard pity will stop at 90 pulls, which by then your S rank will all be but guaranteed, but you still need to win the 50-50. Yet at 75 pity is what we call the soft pity. Your individual chances of rolling an S rank incrementally increase at a significant rate. So most folk will consider the start of pity at 75 and usually grab the character around 76 or 77. Yet Josh, what if I did pull the standard character before this? Well, you would be in a situation called the confirmed pity. See, after you lose, and only after you lose pity, you will receive an indirect guarantee that your next S-rank character be the on-banner or limited agent. So right now, I have my pity set up with 45 pulls in, which means to soft pity, I would need 20 pulls. Then I also have recently pulled Kaleda, trying for Mindscapes of Hugo Flad. But although I didn't get the sexy blonde man, I'm now in a position to grab my next limited character, all but confirmed in 20 pulls. Absolutely amazing. Hey proxies, welcome to day 5 of Gachamas. What is Gachamas, you may ask? Well, it's our new annual tradition of making 12 videos before Christmas for the 12 days of Christmas. But all you need to know is that if this video has this little clip in it, this means you can like the video right now and you can gift 5 cents to our charity of choice. This year's being UNICEF, the United Nations Children's Fund, and specifically their holiday campaign to help bring resources that kids need during some of the coldest times of the year. And make sure to join our streams over at twitch.tv/Jshoea, as weekly we will be hosting charity collab events that you and others can participate in to help donate to this great cause. That's all folks, and on with the video. Of course, many folks or content creators will tell you to not build pity, meaning to not use pulls on the banner until you really want the character or want to build towards the character. And they be right. If you have pulls right now, unless you want Dialin or Banyue, do not pull on these next few banners and wait till December 29th to pull. Your patience and discipline will be rewarded tenfold. Oh, and just before I forget, the Wenjin banner works generally the same, but the pity is 75 to 25 in your favor. So not quite 100% guaranteed, but much better odds to grab the signature weapon for your characters. And here's where we come back to both beginners and vets. Hello folks, don't worry, we just went through the basics of the banner system, but I need both of us back here because I'm going to go through the greater economy of Zenless. So the beginners just learned that we need around 75 pity to soft pity a character, which can be a lot. Yet if we were to factor in the prep time from the beginning of now to December 29th, how many polys could we realistically get? Well, I'm glad you asked. First, let's start off with the dailies and then the weeklies. If you are at critical mass, meaning you've unlocked everything, which should be around proxy level 30 through 40, you should be able to farm 420 polys through dailies alone. So with around 3 weeks left, that means 1260 polys, which is not a ton here. Then we have the events, which should grant around 480 to at most 800 polychromes. We have 4 events before the start of 2.5, totaling to almost 20 pulls, which is pretty nice. Then we have a few login rewards you can grab via both the 10 free pulls if you grab it now during Dylan's banner, which gives you an extra 10, and log into Hoyo Lab every day for a month, which is pretty easy if you link your Hoyoverse account to HoyoBuddy. It's a free service that helped me grab all my Hoyo logins for all Hoyo accounts, HSR, ZZZ, and Genshin. I'm not sponsored, by the way. This is just a great tool for multi-gacha gamers like me and you. And then some extra polys here and there for doing stories and such. We total our available polychromes to over 6,000. This does not include map updates, shield defense, deadly assaults, Hollow Zero, and other gameplay loops. Those that I mentioned were generally just the gimme pulls. If you were to factor in the weeklies and endgame portions of the game, we'd be looking at around 12,800 worth of pulls, aka around 80 pulls for the patch of 2.4. But for those who are a bit dry on polys and are coming back to the game trying to see where to find some, look no further than these 3 places. First is the Hollow Zero. Not the most efficient, but definitely a strong place to start, as it is a gameplay loop that is permanent and is accessible for most players. You can get around 1,600 polychromes from getting a majority of the achievements. However, this requires you to be fishing for them, as well as to have a few characters under your belt. If you are completely new, I'd suggest heading out to just push through the story and get to the proxy level where you can access the Wi-Fi Peninsula region, such that you can begin the rest of events, which gives you the best time to polychrome efficiency. The exploration of new semi-open areas of the Lemony Hollow, if not done already, hold a few tens of pulls for you, so make sure to either look up a cheat sheet or find the bang boos that reveal the location of all the items in the area. It'll just make it easier for you, as well as they provide you with a plethora of smaller level up materials that you can consistently farm for free. So check out my guide on the Lemony Hollow and Swabian Temple here if you're interested in free weekly resources that you can get by literally just pressing a few buttons. And lastly, if you're a bit more desperate than others, the tutorial in the VR training, achievement hunting in the arcade, and dating via the Knock Knock invitations where you can gain friendship levels are also slept on game modes in Zenless that hold a few more polychromes to add up to your total. Understandably, people consider just oh yeah, just play the game, but hopefully this more direct approach to actually showcasing you exactly ways to farm polychromes actually helps you out in that endeavor. And for those of you who are already invested in this video, I am actually running a few Internet Pass giveaways via our community events through Twitch and Discord, as well as a huge $100 polychrome giveaway right now for Dylan and Banyue, and then in the future, a mega polychrome giveaway for YESHUNGUANG's release. If you're a newbie, a player coming back to Zenless, or just a vet with a few less polys, it wouldn't hurt to try to enter. Come support the streams, as we're averaging almost 200 viewers a day on Twitch alone, and my goal is to average 300 friends by the end of February, which is my birthday month. But I digress. Let's get back on track with full advice tip number 2, and that has to do with materials. This is going to be much shorter of a tip, as I'm just going to display what characters need in order to help you build them. So first, all characters are going to need investigator logs for base character level, W engine modules for their engine, unless you're borrowing from another character, then by which you're being pretty economical, so you can hold off on these. Next is core level materials, which include both higher dimensional material, which you can get at the HIA Club, and advanced core material that you can farm at the Notorious Hunt. Unlike other Hoyo games of Genshin and HSR, you can actually finish the core materials as long as you have stamina, or in this game, batteries. Again, with Genshin and HSR, you only get around 3 attempts per core per week. So to go into a little bit more detail about that, with Genshin and HSR, you only generally get around 3 attempts per week for these higher core material. But in Zenless, once you have completed your 3 attempts, which are free, by the way, you can access the paid version via the slider here, called the Pursuit of Depths. That will cost 60 batteries, but grant you access to the boss material as long as you have enough batteries. For now, this core material should be on hold, because it is well documented that we are more than likely getting a new general core and advanced core material. aka new bosses, with the update. So just be patient on these and don't farm aimlessly until we can confirm the actual core material for the new Void Hunter. But one material we can confirm is the use of physical chips for skills, as YESHUNGUANG is an enhanced physical unit. So under the core materials, there are 5 more abilities, that being your basic, your dodges or dash, assists, specials, and ults. Here are a few of the best ways to get materials. That includes the Logistics Bay that refreshes materials every month, the Devon Pawn Shop that involves you interacting with the Swabian Temple Management System, and there will be a 2x event for materials closer to the 3rd or 4th week of December, so be on the lookout. Here's a breakdown of how much you'll need at each level. It's a lot, but to get the character off the ground and running, most folks will tell you to get around level 6 or 8 and 10 for more important skills. For YESHUNGUANG, that is the EX and probably the Chain and Ult are looking to be the best options. And then, of course, one of the most notoriously devious things to farm and prep for is the equipment system called the drive discs. Yet, I wanted to save a whole section for this. Call it tip number 2.5, if you will. So Josh, why did you want to spend a whole separate section on drive discs? Well, the reason being is that they are the most variable and unpredictable to prepare for, yet arguably just as important of a contributor to the strength and output of the character. Now, it isn't to say that when we get YESHUNGUANG, we can't just put a 4-set Hormone Punk or Woodpecker, like most other DPS characters, and call it a day. But very much to the Miyabis of the world and how she got a very tailored drive disc to match her release, so too are you most likely getting a whole new set for YESHUNGUANG. So what you're telling us is that we need to farm a whole new set? How long is that going to take? Well, higher end players know the struggles of just even getting a matching 4-set and main bonuses that cater towards the specific needs of the character. But for YESHUNGUANG specifically, we can narrow her down to a few things. With the 4-set, our main stat most likely will revolve around crit rate or crit damage. The 5th slot will be physical or attack, or even pen could be better option depending on matchups and teammates. Then attack on 6th slot, which would be the most conventional for an attacker class. If you are considering a 2-set, make sure to consider these very strong offensive options in the 2 slot specifically. So if you are going to be running the new 4-set, make sure to try out these 2 sets, and if you just so happen to have some really strong ones with amazing substats, well, you can just slot them in automatically. Make sure to also save your trash for now by converting them into hi-fi master copies, and save for the new set. When the 2.5 version drops, not only will we be able to farm for said new cleanup stage, but we should also be able to convert our recyclables into the new set as well. So if you're just passively and aimlessly farming drives right now, make sure to not go too overboard. We also need to mention tuning calibrators. These tape looking items can help confirm the main stat of the 4, 5, and 6 slots of drives. Very important to at least give you a chance of having a solid piece to start out your builds, even though they most likely roll like crap. You get these via events, and again, the goated Logistics Bay. You can get these via events, the goated Logistics Bay, and potentially battle passes if you guys can spend a little bit ka-ching. And so with that all being said, Josh, it takes batteries to get all these things, right? Well, yes, and that's going to be our greater tip number 3. And that's how to go about saving and reserving batteries. But there is an additional stamina system we have here. Instead of converting our stamina into condensed resin, we have a very similar system to HSR called the backup batteries. These will accumulate overflowing batteries past our first regular storage of the 240, which can be achieved at around the 20+ hour mark of the day. These backup batteries can accumulate at half the timed rate to a total of 2,400, and most content creators will actually tell you to generally spend them. Well, with this video, this case is different. We're trying to help you prepare for a whole new character with whole new equips and whole new materials. So if you are a beginner or intermediate player, well, keep spending your batteries to build up what you already have. It's better in that way to keep progressing instead of halting altogether, as the resources you'll get once you're towards the max levels of 50 or 55 make more sense than just waiting at the lower levels. Then for more advanced or endgame players who don't have stuff to farm for anymore, consider just using half of your stamina or just as much as you barely need to get your materials ready for your current characters. Then allow the overflow batteries to sink into the backups, netting you around 1,200 plus, and that would probably be adequate enough. The reason being, which most of you can see, is that since we can't farm for the exact materials we need for YESHUNGUANG, and there literally is no conversion system for older materials, just hold off and stockpile as much as you can in terms of the batteries until the release of the new patch. This way, you can ensure that on the first day or week, you'll have enough to farm for the character. Of course, all of this is predicated if you want to pre-farm for the character. Please don't take out of context. This is not necessary at all. However, I understand that most folk who pull for a character want to get them off the ground and running. And for that, you'll need to have this foresight in order to farm the right materials and just also have the right amount of stamina to do so. So in review, getting pulls ready, having stamina farm, as well as getting the right materials of chips, investigator logs, Wenjin materials, and more are all the big 3 ways to prepare for the coming of my newest wife, YESHUNGUANG. Yes, I'm claiming her. She's mine. All right, back off. But Mr. Sir Back to Back, you said that there was a secret extra tip that you wanted to talk about. Well, this might be its whole own video, but I did want to quickly talk about if you even want YESHUNGUANG in the first place. I know it's a little bit of a weird topic to mention as we close out this video on the whole prep of a new upcoming character. But to those on the fence, do you guys need YESHUNGUANG? Or better yet, do you guys need to pull for must-pull characters like the Miyabis or potentially now YESHUNGUANGs of the world? And again, I might want to make a whole other video on this topic, so if we get at least 500 likes on this video, we'll get the topic covered. But YSG is but of the bunch of many DPS characters that we'll get, and among the many that we still have yet to look forward to. That being said, if you're pulling purely for the meta, you'll find YESHUNGUANG very useful. Pulling for your waifu, well, she's already my girlfriend, but I think I can share. And any other reason in between, well, you're completely valid. But to those who might not be as hyped about this character, will you be missing out? The unfortunate truth is yes, but also no at the same time. Like we mentioned before, she is only one character of a cast of amazing agents and could definitely shape how the game looks going into the near future. But the overall balance of the game tells us that you need more than just one character to find success. Much like now in the current era, how Miyabi is still strong within her battles, but you'll need other rupture and attack units to cover the other deadly assault, she defenses, etc. I'm going to use this phrase or mantra later on, but it's okay to pull for must pulls if they fulfill your must pull criteria. And that's one of the last big tips I wanted to review ahead of the upcoming 2.5 version patch. Folks, thank you so much for watching, and again, this video is a part of a Gotchamas campaign. Every like on this video gives 5 cents to charity out of my pocket, so make sure to run my pockets for charity. And also comment down below if you guys are going to be using any of these tips to help you prepare for YESHUNGUANG. And of course, check out this latest video over here. We cover a lot of Zenless Zone Zero content over here, some variety too. So stay tuned. It's your boy Josh. Thanks so much for watching.